All right, let's talk about the F-22 Raptor. From day one, this jet was designed to be the ultimate, undisputed apex predator of the skies. We're talking about an exponential leap in warfighting capabilities, a perfect storm of stealth, speed, and absolute extreme maneuverability. But its story, well, it's definitely not a simple narrative of continuous triumph. It is a really complex tale of cutting-edge innovation, rapidly shifting global priorities, and a sudden, desperate scramble to adapt. So in today's Explainer, we are diving into exactly how this incredible jet evolved, why its journey was abruptly cut short, and how, against all odds, it's being reborn today.
Now, you might be wondering, why on earth did the U.S. military permanently cancel the greatest fighter jet ever built? It's a genuine mystery when you stop and think about it. We are talking about prematurely halting a state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar aircraft program. I mean, the F-22 was designed to completely dominate the skies and ensure absolute air superiority. So why take your absolute best piece right off the board? To understand that, we first need to look at what makes the Raptor so uniquely lethal in the first place.
Section 1. The Apex Predator. Let's look at the F-22's origins as a fifth-generation marvel, explicitly built to replace the aging F-15 Eagle and rule the airspace without question. Just look at this incredibly bizarre, compressed timeline. The Raptor took its first flight way back in 1997, and it reached operational status by 2005. But then, just 6 years later, in 2011, production officially ended. Finished. But here's the crazy part. The F-22 didn't achieve its very first air-to-air kill until February of 2023, and the irony here is just rich. The most advanced air superiority fighter ever created scored its very first air-to-air victory by shooting down a Chinese surveillance balloon off the coast of North Carolina, literally years and years after its own production line went completely cold. So what makes it so dominant? Well, a massive part of it is a capability known as Supercruise. This is the ability to fly at supersonic speeds. We're talking greater than Mach 1.5 and up to a blistering Mach 2.25, without relying on those fuel-guzzling afterburners. The Raptor pulls this off thanks to two Pratt & Whitney F-119 turbofan engines. And these things aren't just fast, they feature thrust-vectoring nozzles. Those nozzles can actually move to direct the 70,000 pounds of thrust, which allows the F-22 to perform literal physics-defying acrobatics and maintain extreme angles of attack in a dogfight. It's wild. But raw speed and agility, that's really only half the equation. The Raptor boasts a radar cross-section the size of a marble. A marble! That makes it virtually invisible to enemy radar. And to maintain this incredibly tiny signature, you can't just strap weapons onto the wings like you would on older jets. Instead, the F-22 carries its payload inside 3 internal weapons bays. It can pack a highly lethal mix of AIM-20 radar-guided missiles and AIM-9 heat-seeking sidewinders, or even JDAMs for ground strikes. And it does the whole shebang without compromising its stealth profile one bit. Section 2. Victim of bad timing. If the jet was literally that phenomenal, what went wrong? To find out, we have to shift to the operational reality of the 2000s, the era of the global war on terror. So the Pentagon found itself facing a pretty serious dilemma. During the 2000s, the U.S. wasn't fighting peer adversaries equipped with advanced fighter jets. They were fighting insurgent forces. And the F-22's stealth and Supercruise? It was basically massive overkill for those kinds of conflicts. If you compare the highly specialized F-22 with the much older but recently updated F-15EX, the contrast is stark. The Raptor carried an astronomical unit cost of roughly $143 to $150 million, and it could only carry 8 missiles internally. Meanwhile, the non-stealthy F-15EX cost about $94 million and can carry a whopping 12 missiles plus new hypersonic weapons. So when the budget got tight during these counterinsurgency conflicts, the highly specialized, super expensive F-22 unfortunately became a prime target for cuts. Now you're probably thinking, okay, why not just sell it to our allies to bring the unit cost down? Well, in 1998, Congress passed the Obey Amendment, which explicitly banned the export of the F-22 to any foreign government. Period. The goal obviously was to protect highly classified stealth technology from falling into the wrong hands, like Russia or China. But what it also meant was that very eager, very wealthy allies, like Japan, Israel, and Australia, were completely denied the chance to buy the jet. By cutting off all international sales, the U.S. essentially eliminated the one revenue stream that could have easily kept the F-22 production line alive. Section 3.
the extinction order. With absolutely no foreign buyers allowed and a totally shifting war landscape, the Department of Defense made a truly shocking call to permanently halt production.
187. That right there is the hard cap placed on the operational combat inventory of the F-20 fleet. To put that completely into perspective, the Air Force originally intended to acquire 750 of these aircraft. The line was shut down at just a tiny fraction of that goal, with a total of only 195 jets ever actually delivered.
So a logical question today is, why don't we just start building them again? Now that the world is getting a lot more dangerous. Well, the barrier is a staggering $50 billion. That is the estimated cost just to restart the F-22 production line today. It is definitely not as simple as just flipping a switch. The specialized tooling, it's lost or totally inaccessible. Plus, the F-22's fundamental computer architecture dates back to the early 1990s and is completely obsolete. Restarting production would require an incredibly expensive ground-up avionics overhaul.
Section 4. A new rival emerges. While the U.S. kept its ultimate fighter, the geopolitical landscape started shifting dramatically, especially over in the Indo-Pacific region, and a rapidly modernizing threat came sharply into focus. The reality we're looking at right now is frankly alarming. While America's F-22 inventory is hard-capped at 187, the Chinese Chengdu J-20 stealth fighter fleet is estimated by Western intelligence to number over 250. Let that sink in. China has officially outnumbered the premier U.S. air superiority aircraft. Now, yes, the U.S. still operates hundreds of F-35s, but remember, those are multi-role strike aircraft. They are not dedicated air-to-air dogfighters like the F-22 and the J-20.
And here's the thing, China didn't just build a lot of jets, they upgraded them significantly. Early J-20s had to rely on older Russian engines, which really slowed down their production. But China completely overcame those supply chain bottlenecks by mass-producing their own domestic WS-15 engine, generating a massive 36,000 pounds of thrust. This upgrade finally grants the J-20's Supercruise capability, which, as we know, matches the F-22's signature feature. Armed with this new domestic engine, China's advanced assembly lines are currently churning out up to 100 brand new stealth airframes every single year.
Section 5. The rise of Raptor 2.0. Faced with this rapidly evolving threat and a very real numerical disadvantage, the U.S. Air Force isn't just sitting still. They are fighting back by aggressively modernizing the aging F-22 fleet. So, the Raptor fleet recently surpassed a massive milestone. 500,000 flight hours. 500,000. To ensure these airframes can actually keep flying, the Air Force implemented a 10-year sustainment program known as Faster 3. But they aren't just doing routine maintenance and repairing the jets. They are fundamentally upgrading them to make absolutely sure they maintain that critical first look, first shot, first kill advantage. Recent flight testing has given us a look at these Raptor 2.0 upgrades, and they're pretty incredible. First up, we've got low-drag stealth fuel tanks. The F-22 notoriously has a pretty short range, but these new external tanks dramatically extend its reach across the vast stretches of the Indo-Pacific, and they do it without ruining its radar evasion capabilities. Second, infrared search and track, or IRST, sensor pods. These are game changers, allowing the F-22 to silently detect and hunt enemy stealth jets using their heat signatures. And finally, Link 16-2A networking. This allows the F-22 to seamlessly share its unmatched sensor data with older legacy aircraft, basically turning the Raptor into the ultimate quarterback in the sky. Which brings us to the ultimate question we have to ask. Can this aging, heavily upgraded Raptor truly hold the line against a numerically superior foe until the next generation air dominance, or NGAD fighter, finally arrives in the 2030s? The U.S. is betting billions and billions of dollars on this Raptor 2.0 suit of armor to bridge that crucial gap. It's wild to think that the aircraft once deemed far too advanced for its time was canceled entirely too early, and now it has to be resurrected to defend the skies of tomorrow. It is just an absolutely incredible story of technology, strategy, and adaptation. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep questioning what you see in the skies.